Hey y'all out there, Jay with an album review this week of one of my favourite bands, Mr. Bungle, from their album that came out in '99 called California, which is, for my money, one of the best albums that they've ever done. Previously they had some self-release cassettes out in the 80s, and in the 90s signing with a label with their first self-titled album and the second being Disco Volante. So starting out, they were more known as a fast metal band with a lot of instrumental breakdowns and weird instrumentation, which off their first album, which was very heavy in the, funk, metal and hip hop kind of sound, and then leading into their second album, Disco Volante, which was an avant-garde, experimental, almost vocalist kind of experimental album, which I think Mike Patton would later on pursue with bands like Phantomus or Moonraker or his John Zorn outputs. If you're going to start with an album with Mr. Bungle, I would definitely recommend this album, as it's quite an indulgent album, but at least for their prior efforts, this one's a little more reined in and is part of the accessibility of it, that you can start off with an album like this. Although the first time you listen to it, you won't have much to hold on to because some of the songs just take so many different turns. But I think what the album does better than previous efforts is it kind of, everything needs to be there. Every song has its own planet and atmosphere which completes every track on the album. We'll start off with track 1, Sweet Charity, which is basically the opposite. It's a smoothie Hawaiian-y ballad with starting off with some seagull noises coming in there and some very slow slide guitar, soft percussion, Mike Patton sort of crooning over the top of all of that, and it just makes you throw all your cares out the window, lulling you into a sense of false security. What was that? 2, which is None of Them Knew They Were Robots, really just put you in the driver's seat, ties you to the chair and just removes the brakes. It's just proves the musicality of the whole band with all 5 of them together, with Mike Patton with his high falsetto and his dark growls, and then the band almost doing a swing, kind of big band swing tune thing. Da 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 da. A lot of cat calls and hollowing, and Trace Bruant's bass line driving over the whole thing, using like camera clicks and bubble popping and car crashing sounds to segue into changes just flawlessly. And of course, the madness continues with tracks like Air Conditioned Nightmare, Arias Moriendi and Goodbye Sober Day, which brings up all ideas of melody and form and structure. Sonically they can jump from Eastern music to top 60s Britpop to funk, ska, metal, thrash and soul music as well, turning from one idea to the next, just leaving you not sure where they're going to go, like a loose one-man band animal just weaving and trying to lose you at all costs. Although this may sound like they're forcing themselves just to be sporadic for the sake of being sporadic, but what makes this album, for me anyway, so remarkable is when they're at their most insane, they'll bring you right home with the next track and really savvy, beautiful songwriting with songs like Retro Vertigo, Pink Cigarette, that play that kind of old Gene Vincent, Lover's Lament kind of card so well, and songs like Vanity Fair, which just have a great sense of coming home to me, Overall, for my money, the album is a flawless execution, limitless in its integrity, and style out and out. It's a fun album as well. It's so much fun to listen to, whatever you're doing. I've been listening to the album for about 12 years, and I think I'll always come back to it. So, if you've heard this album, let me know what you think. And if you could, like, favorite or subscribe just for more great reviews. See ya. Best song to explain the musicality that these guys put on the album, with Mike Patton doing from high settled vocals,